Welcome to the Steve Reeve Podcast with the best moments from the past week and a few things that didn't make it to air. Tuesday.
Just over the weekend, the 30th anniversary of Friends happened. September 22nd, 1994 was the day that we met the crew of, beautiful 20-somethings who inexplicably could afford renting apartments in New York's Greenwich Village in Manhattan. Yeah, not going to happen. Just like there was no way Carrie Bradshaw lived the lavish life she did on a columnist's salary. But I digress. It is a milestone for the show. And likewise for fans, of course. But one that kind of has a shade of sadness is we no longer have Matthew Perry with us, a.k.a. Chandler Bing. Now, there is going to be something to mark the anniversary from Max, as in HBO Max. They just announced that they're going to be filming a fan competition series, 4-part, I guess. Though honestly a bit late, like a hair late. The anniversary hit this weekend. It's already just passed by a couple days, but the tribute show will begin filming in October, so no word on exactly when that's going to actually show up. We have been promised flying cars for quite some time, and inroads have been made. This is something that science fiction has popularized since, automobiles skyrocketed in popularity, and roads that weren't meant for carriages were all over the world. And it became this concept, especially in the 1960s, this whole futuristic, what can we do? Technology's crazy. Look at all this new plastic we've got, that whole vibe. So it's been a long time coming. But just wait longer, because what we'll probably get first before flying cars is flying carts. As in shopping carts. There's a research outfit out of Korea that have put a proof of concept video out for the first flying shopping cart in the world. Something they're calling the Pallatrone cart, basically pallet and drone together, because it is essentially just a platform attached to drones. Basically imagine a shopping basket on top of that, and you put your groceries inside. The reason they say it might be necessary is that, carts, they have a hard time on uneven ground. And in the video, they show somebody throwing a cart down a set of stairs. Of course it's not going to work. But, it might have some applications. I just feel like maybe around the flat ground inside the grocery store, probably A-okay to just use the shopping carts where 3 of the wheels work properly and the 4th one is doing whatever it wants. But kind of a fun idea, floating your food around as you go. I just fear that as soon as one of those drones gives out, then all of your food, including the glass bottles of olive oil or whatever, are going to crash on the ground. And you're going to be left thinking, why oh why didn't I have wheels? Or maybe it'll be amazing, and we can even get these carts to fly us to the grocery store too. Maybe one day. I think I'm just hungry this morning.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
It's time for Cruz Music News with Steve Reeve.
First off the bat, Iron Maiden has got a new tour coming, and they are promising, kind of as a dig, I think, to some other bands, there's going to be absolutely no dynamic ticket pricing. 2025 tour and any resale prices are going to be capped at face value. And they say, as always, buy from approved outlets. Try not to do the scalper thing, and enjoy the show. More than anything, Run for Your Lives is the name of the tour. And always a fun time to go see them in concert. David Gilmour was performing for the first time in years recently. David Gilmour of Pink Floyd fame. He did a few new songs, played a little Pink Floyd as well, but not much. And it's the start of his UK tour in Brighton, a new album that he's promoting. Luck and Strange is the title. And speaking of playing for the first time in a long time, Slayer had a live performance. It's been 5 years since the last one, and the thrash metal band is going to be at 3 festivals coming up throughout the rest of September and in October as well. So it's not just a one-off. They got a few in mind, and the full set list online for anybody who is a super fan to check out some of the videos. Red Lobster. Yeah, decent place. I love the biscuits especially. Been there, several times. We don't have one around here, but there are some 500 or so, maybe almost 600 throughout Canada and the U.S. So, not a huge showing, but pretty popular, pretty ubiquitous. People know about Red Lobster and those Chesapeake Bay biscuits. They really do. Well, earlier this year, May, I believe it was, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, basically meaning like the end is in sight. Unless something happens, unless a savior swoops in. And it looks like that's what happened, because they made a big statement saying that they are no longer in Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They are able to walk that back, escape that, exit the bankruptcy. I guess more biscuits are on the line for our future. And I think it's new ownership as well. Really, I think what happened is they got somebody with some big dollars to say, yeah, no, there's legs here. And bought it up and is going to be, putting some investment in improving it. I'm curious to check out the new and improved new chapter of Red Lobster. Same year, filing for bankruptcy. Later that year, exiting bankruptcy. You might just say that they clawed their way back to success. Congratulations to Red Lobster.
Thursday.
The grade 1 trees, the Alberta government gives them out to grade 1 students just about every year. They've done it millions of times. And it's about that time again. Is yours still going strong? I can tell you definitively, mine is not. Mine was cut down in its prime. Mom accidentally lawnmowered it to death almost immediately. She felt so bad. I still remember her apologizing. And then we planted several trees to make up for it, but none in the yard because she didn't want history to repeat. So I actually don't know how they're doing for sure, those other trees, but I assume most are doing just fine. Did you plant one from school way back when? Did your parents lawnmower it? Or more recently, have you planted one with your kid? And if so, what's the story?
It's time for Cruz Music News with Steve Reeve.
Well, we've got news of a biopic on the way all about Janis Joplin, coming from actor and filmmaker Shailene Woodley. It's supposed to be raw and honest, and a look at the last days of the singer, who was gone too soon after dying from heroin overdose at the age of 27. It will really focus in on the last days of Janis Joplin before death, so it's sure to be one that's not a light watch. The Cure have good news. They're sharing a new single, an emotional one called Alone, as well as the album that's been long awaited to go along with it as well, going to be called Songs of a Lost World. First album from the band in 16 years. Follow up to the 2008 413 Dream. So more details on that coming. Stevie Nicks also announcing that a new single called The Lighthouse is going to be showing up this week, likely on Friday. Previously, the lyrics of other tracks have shown up in poem form. Get It Back, for instance, has been one of the first teases that we've seen from her. But as early as tomorrow, you're going to be able to hear the new song on social media. Pre-save it right now on all of your music streaming platforms, wherever you listen to it. And, of course, more to follow after that and more new stuff from Stevie Nicks in the future.
Hey, Alexa, play the Steve Reeve podcast.
Yesterday, Jordan was here in the seat for me, and that's because I was just feeling quite under the weather. Still recovering a bit today, but feeling much better thanks to the rest yesterday. So big thank you for the coverage. I'm so appreciative. But I'm questioning now, asking you the question, what is your sick day comfort food? I think many people can maybe jump into one or two dishes that really make them feel a bit better when they are feeling sick. And it depends on the kind of sick. You know, sometimes it's in a case where you can't even keep anything down. That's not the case for me. In fact, I think it has increased my appetite, if anything else. But for me, I mean, of course, there's the standby of like a soup and a sandwich. Many different varieties, but I mean, if you're going to go with a chicken noodle soup, that's a great option. A tomato soup with like a grilled cheese, that's a great option for sick day as well. But beyond that, beyond the staple of the soup and the sandwich, I gotta say it's pasta for me. And that's just a staple food no matter what. Sick or not, I'm craving it, but pasta is what got me through yesterday for sure. I got a delivery at lunch of something delicious, and it made me get through the rest of the day. I swear. You know, that and all the medication and sleep. So what is your sick day comfort food? I feel like Hollywood, I mean, they show oftentimes that they don't know what they're doing whatsoever. But in one case in particular, I just feel like we need to let Hollywood know what a teaser trailer is. I mean, this has been something that has been a concept since before I've even been around. A trailer for a movie, and then what is a teaser for a movie? Well, in my opinion, and I think the one that really lands, is that a teaser should be a tease and shouldn't really be a bunch of different scenes. It shouldn't be more than like a minute long. You know, it's a case of how much are you showing? And if it's a lot, that's not a tease anymore. That's just a trailer. For instance, there was a new trailer for the Marvel movie Thunderbolts ** that just came out. They called it a teaser, as it was the first one that we've seen, but it's a trailer. It's like nearly 4 minutes long. They show us a ton of different stuff, whole bunch of different characters, different scenarios and scenes. It's a trailer, a full trailer. Then we got a teaser trailer just yesterday for a new movie coming out in the world of John Wick called Ballerina. It's going to be starring Ana de Armas. And that teaser trailer certainly was a teaser, but it was really a teaser for the next coming trailer. Because instead of giving us any information about the movie, it just said, stay tuned because the official trailer will be released tomorrow, aka today. Haven't seen it just yet, but is that a teaser for the movie or is it a teaser for the trailer? These are questions that are absolutely not important, but they plague me nonetheless. That's what it feels like when we switch out from the warm months into the cold ones. It feels like not the best trade-off because we don't have a long enough fall. That's been my complaint for a long time. Not that I can do anything about it. It's just geography. It's just where we live. But it does go by quick, doesn't it? It even arrives quick. I had been gone over the weekend just past, left on Thursday, came back on Monday. And Thursday, everything lush and green. Monday, just about everything had already changed color, you know, all the way into those autumn oranges, yellows, reds. But the problem is, I mean, it would be nice if we actually had a season of it. If it took a long, drawn-out time for those colors to actually change, for the leaves to get ready to drop and actually turn into, you know, the October, end of October sort of look. That is a classic, you know, leaves are already gone and the trees are looking a little spooky for the Halloween right before the snow arrives. Like, that is kind of the generally accepted seasonal transition. What we have is like less than a week. Colors change on the trees and you go, okay, well, better get the rake out because it's going to be no time. Absolutely no time. So I'm just raging against how quickly that goes by. One of the amusing things is just how much you see local photographers scrambling to take advantage of the gorgeous fall colors while we have them for such a short amount of time.
Friday.
I guess today is Morning Show Hosts Day. Throughout the land, I don't know if that land is national or international. Isn't that such a weird thing about these days? Every holiday really is made up when you think about it. Every day is too. But the days that are, is it national? Is it international? Is it partly national? Is it, multinational but not every national? I don't know. Big differences, but what I do know is that it's Morning Show Host Day, so I will be accepting praise and tips outside the studio. No, I will not. But I do appreciate praise in the text line. I'll take that. 780-715-2789. Oh no, I've invited the opposite, haven't I? There was a blimp crash. There has been a blimp crash, and thankfully only one person involved was treated for minor injuries. It happened in Sao Paulo, Brazil on Wednesday during a test flight, apparently for a promotional blimp, ahead of the intended flight that was going to take place during a football match later that same day. I'm not sure what the situation was, mechanical failure, wind pushing it around, but it's a very, very hilly area of Sao Paulo, and it ran directly into some houses and immediately burst. Don't think it made it to the football match. The words on the side of the blimp read, "Vamos, Sao Paulo." And that's just a hilarious mental image to me. I picture somebody running for safety from this giant, albeit fairly soft, vehicle that's basically telling you to run. I mean, vamos. It's saying, come on, let's go. I think it's safe to say that the blimp failed the test.
It's time for Cruz Music News with Steve Reeve.
So starting off the story, we've heard a little bit more about that fight between two members of Jane's Addiction on stage. Frontman Perry Farrell and guitarist Dave Navarro continued the altercation backstage, according to a guitar tech for the band. saying that after the onstage fight, there was a further punch to the face from Perry Farrell to Dave Navarro, confirming as well that the band is no more. There's some sad news as in California, a woman died earlier in the year after being hit by a car. Former Red Hot Chili Peppers guitarist Josh Klinghoffer, the one accused, now pleading not guilty to the charge of manslaughter, vehicular manslaughter in a California court. We'll have to see what turns out from the trial, but sadness all around. And Stevie Nicks in the news because of a brand new single that's out, The Lighthouse, which until today it wasn't known that it was inspired by the overturning of Roe versus Wade down in the United States. She does say that it might be the most important thing that she ever does. If you're curious about listening to that, it is available today.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
Prove him wrong with the right answer. But you gotta be quick. It's time for Impossible Trivia with Steve Reeve.
And every single time we're playing Impossible Trivia, it's very simple. We just need you to let us know you're interested when you hear the cue to text by texting in 780-715-2789. That's exactly what our friend Scott did. You think you can do this thing? You think you got Impossible Trivia handled this morning? How you doing?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm calling about Impossible Trivia. $200 is on the line. Special guest here to ask the Impossible Trivia question for today, but same rules apply. If you get the answer correct, you're going to get the prize money of $200. If not, we'll increase that by $25 for Tuesday's game, and you can play again another day. Sound good?
Sounds good, man.
Alrighty.
Hey, this is Travis from the Black Horse Pub, and here's today's question. Canada has two national animals, the North American beaver and what?
I heard you guess there, but I didn't quite catch what it was. What was your guess?
Is it a moose?
A moose, a very solid guess. That's where my brain would have gone. In fact, I didn't even know that this was a variety of horse, but apparently our second national animal, the Canada horse, the Canadian horse. Just like that. Thanks for trying this morning, Scott. You have a great one, and we'll talk to you again sometime soon. Aren't those cookie preference requests on websites slimy? They give me the ick. It's always set up in a way that it's just a little bit unclear exactly what you're choosing. You'll scan through a little checklist that always starts with essential, always on, listing protection against spam and abuse for you and the site. Sounds good, but the rest of the list is all about targeted ads. One toggle for ads on this site, one for ads on partner sites, one for precise location targeting, one for sell my personal information to data brokers, please. It's like there's a salivating goblin that's just sitting there saying, click accept all. We and our mysterious partners would like that very much. Sometimes, to be fair, you get a clear reject all option, which is genuinely appreciated. But more often than not, the accept all button is very colorful and confirmation-y looking. Like, oh, I just made some choices. I click this button now, right? And then there's the actual save your preferences, save changes button, and that'll be hollow, or it isn't even represented as a button. It's just off to the side as text for you to dig through. Why? Why is it gotta be so slimy? Just make it simple. Just make it simple. It used to be more simple when they didn't even ask us, but then again, we didn't really have any choice in the matter, so I don't know if I want to go back to that, but be a little bit less slimy, please. Just like yes or no's. So I'm joined by some of the cast members, as well as director Jacqueline Russell of the upcoming play from Keanu Theatre Company, The Play That Goes Wrong. And of course, you can get your details about exactly when that's going to be running, where you can get your tickets, all through the Keanu box office, online or in person. So tell me, what is The Play That Goes Wrong?
Well, The Play That Goes Wrong is a production that's being put on by the Cornley Drama Society. It's their biggest play yet. It's a murder mystery, The Murder at Havisham Manor. And everything that could possibly go wrong in the play does. So we've been rehearsing this since mid-August, but I would say work on this production began a year ago when the play was first picked and we first began to conceptualize how it was going to happen.
So everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Was that what attracted folks to audition?
Essentially, yeah, absolutely. We both auditioned as part of the open audition call, and for me personally, I had seen some clips of the play before on TikTok, as you do, and it is hilarious. It is absolutely hysterical. It is Monty Python meets Agatha Christie, and while I was slightly terrified, mostly because of all the things that go wrong, I decided that I had to try. Also, Jacqueline has a background in clowning, and I was very excited for the opportunity to do some clowning and silly stuff.
And I feel like for me, I'm just naturally clumsy, so I feel like this was definitely in my wheelhouse.
So heavy utilization of clown work for this play. Clowning, I think, being something that people might have they conjure a specific image in their head for, but really it's far more of a fundamental, comedy philosophy, physical comedy, right?
Universal art form, Robin Williams, Carol Burnett, Lucille Ball. And so this idea of like slapstick comedy, farce is very alive in this play. And so it's really been about taking it to that ridiculous, over the top place that clown lives in and having so much fun while we do it.
So with a cast, as usual for Keanu Theater Company, that's fully made up of community members, not necessarily, actors with the quotes around it, but people who are acting that are right from our community, people that we, go to work with, people that are parents of our kids' friends, with a cast that's made up of community members clowning around and making us wonder, was that supposed to happen that way? This sounds like a hilarious night out. So I've got my opening night tickets, but remind us, when is this happening and how can people get their tickets?
So the play is taking place on October 4th, 5th, 10th, 11th, and 12th at Keanu Theater. The show begins at 7 p.m.
And you can get tickets at keanu.ca/wrong.
Wrong. I like that. Keanu.ca/wrong is the right place to be. Thank you guys for taking some time to talk about it today, and we'll see you at opening night next week.
Transmission over. Want more Steve? New podcast episodes happen every Friday, or just tune into the Steve Reeve Show. Weekday mornings starting at 5:30 a.m. on 100.5 Cruz FM.